Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is now time for the best real estate podcast online. It is time for Lakeway Area Real Estate Talk Live with Mike and Dave Elkins, presented by Elite Realty Group. Here's what we're going to talk about today, all right? We're going to give you some info about everything that you need to know about pre-approval. And I flashed a little thing up on the screen here. You'll have to see how you like that. That's kind of new. I just got that new toy. So you can see that here in a minute. But again, everything you need to know about pre-approval. Dave said it earlier. If you got somebody knowing that you know is going to purchase a house in the future, right now, they're doing it right now, this is going to be some good information that they can use.
And I know that people probably don't know. I mean, like, you might not realize, but this is this question gets asked so many times. Like I said, I just had it yesterday, and again, and a lot of times you just think that people would know that's what needs to be the first step.
Right.
But a lot of people don't even
realize. A lot of people don't know. That leads us
into
the first thing we're going to talk to you about today. Again, we're going to talk about, now I got to give a disclaimer, okay? I got to give a disclaimer here today. We are real estate agents,
yes,
right? We're realtors. True. The information that we're about to give you is simply our opinions, right? It's not meant to be financial information, legal advice. It's not meant to be mortgage advice.
Right.
We're just giving you our opinions, right? Yes. We got some stuff wrote down here on a piece of paper we're going to tell you about from questions that we get from potential prospective customers of ours,
right,
that the lenders, mortgage people, and a whole bunch of them that we work with have told us this is why, this is when, this is how. So we're just simply repeating what we've heard. It's not meant to be any kind of legal or financial information.
And we cannot tell you how much you can get, how much you qualify for.
We have no idea.
If you qualify. But you'd be surprised how many times you hear that too.
Yes.
I talked to so-and-so, another person, another realtor, and they told me that I could get this.
Right.
They can't tell you
Based on your income or what you
They can't tell you that.
We have no idea.
Yes.
Right? We have absolutely no idea. So we're going to talk about some of those things today. Now, here's the first thing, all right? Here's one of the first questions we get, okay? And this one's going to be the simple one, so we're going to get it out of the way first, okay? Here's the question. When do I need to apply for pre-approval? And I'm going to stress that our real estate word of the day was pre-qualification.
Right.
We're going to talk about that here in just a minute.
Right.
But when do I need to apply for pre-approval, okay? You need to apply for it yesterday. Right? That's like the answer,
yes.
Right? If you're
asking that question, you're probably thinking about buying a house.
If you're thinking of getting into the housing market, you need to do it yesterday.
Right.
It's a big deal. It is like a big deal of things that you need to do. It is the first step. Before you ever get online, start looking for a house, before you ever call a real estate agent or realtor, before you ever do anything, get your hopes up, tell your kids, your parents, get a pre-approval, okay? Right. Get that pre-approval. That is by far the first thing you need to do. There's some reasons why, all right? A pre-approval is going to get you what you need to know, okay? It's going to tell you the maximum amount that I can spend on a home. Now, why is that important? Why is that important?
I'm going to tell the same thing I told the lady I spoke to yesterday. She called me and she said, we're first-time home buyers, okay? Right. We're ready. We've been renting for 8 years. Mm-hmm. We are ready to buy.
Right.
So I said, you're ready to buy. So how do you know that you're ready to buy? She said, we've made our mind up that we're ready to buy. She said, but we have no clue as to what the first steps are. Now, we've already got on Zillow and Realtor.com and places like that, and we've already saved houses that we want to go see.
Right.
And I said, you really messed up.
Right.
And she says, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what the first step is.
Sure.
I said, the first step is you have to talk to a lender, because right now, all these houses on Realtor.com, Zillow, whatever websites you're searching on, you don't even know if those are in your price range.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, you don't know. I said, you might have your hopes set on this house, and your dreams could get crushed because you don't know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you just know that a lot of times, it's just like anything else. People a lot of times automatically flock to the, knock my eyes out.
Yes.
This is just major. This is just no different when you go to a car lot and they got that $130,000 Corvette sitting there.
Right.
Everybody's over there wanting to look at touch it, feel it.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're going to go have to buy an Impala.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with the Impala.
True story.
That's just what you got.
Right.
That's what your income allows you to buy.
Yes.
So that's what I told her. That is always that's the most important step. You got to get that knocked out because you got to know, again, like you just said, you want to know what your maximum is. it's no different than going to a car lot knowing that you've got a loan. I went and got a personal loan from my bank, and I'm going to go to a car lot. Now I've got the power.
Right.
Because I know what I can buy.
I know what I can do.
I know what I can buy.
Now, here's some things we want to tell you, all right? You want to know that maximum amount. That does not mean you have to go up to that maximum amount.
That's right.
But honestly, here's what we see when there isn't a pre-approval done prior to. And again, the same situation you just said. Everybody wants to go see. Everybody wants to go touch, feel, look at it. You get in the house, and it's beyond.
I mean, let's just be honest. We ain't pulling no punches here, but a $500,000 house is usually a whole lot nicer than an $80,000 house.
True story. Just got more stuff.
It's
bigger.
Just because it's bigger.
Yeah,
it's bigger.
A lot of things taken into
got fancier stuff in it usually, but again, it's.
But what's bad is
that attracts people.
Yes,
especially people who's never bought.
I agree. You go look at that, and it does got all the bells and whistles. And then you go to get your pre-approval, and it doesn't come to where you want to go. And then what happens to you is everything else that you look at, a lot of times it won't compare to that, and you're always trying to get back there. Yeah. That's when we see people make those decisions that we've talked about a billion times on this show, that you make hasty, you make decisions, you do things that you normally wouldn't do, you get other people to come on the loan so you can stretch yourself as far as you can get to go up to get to something else. And then you become that word that you used way back when, house poor.
House poor.
And you get in a lot of bad trouble. So just because, again, that's why you want to go there, and that be the first thing. You find your maximum amount. You know what you can go up to and look. That does not mean you have to buy that much.
Right.
Buy whatever the payment fits into your budget. Talk with those professionals in that field, and they may tell you, hey, you can buy $250, but that $250 payment puts you above your comfort zone. Tell them what you want your payment to be. They'll drop you back down to that. Then you move forward in looking at homes in that particular price range and area. That's going to save you a lot of heartache. That's going to save you a lot of heartache by getting those things done. That's why we tell so many people, we tell everybody that asks our opinion on it, that is the first step, right? That is the first thing that you need to do is get that pre-approval in place. What you got?
Charlotte says that this is something important, so that's why I'm going to change the subject. But Charlotte says, hey guys, keep my son number one on your prayer. He's about to enter heaven's golden gate. So everybody needs to obviously pray for Charlotte's son. He is really sick.
Absolutely. And we have been, Charlotte. We have been. So again, our prayers go out to you and everybody else. If you say a prayer for Charlotte and her family too. So Charlotte, we're praying for you.
Yes.
Getting back though, pre-approval is real important.
Yeah, and let me go because I was going to say something about. This was what she said yesterday.
Right.
So, and because a lot of times this is what people base. Because in their mind they think, well, I can skip this step because I'm going to talk to my friend who bought a house 3 years ago.
Right.
And they told me that they bought a house for $150,000 and this is their payment.
Right.
So I know I can afford that payment, so I can buy. And I said, but the thing about it is interest rates change daily.
Absolutely.
So there's a good chance that the interest rate that your friend has now is not the same interest rate that you're going to get just because they're different.
Absolutely.
So you can't base it upon that.
Right. Taxes, insurance, all those things change all the time, and it's different from house to house. Do they pay money down? No money down. 3% down.
Right.
There's so many factors that go into that payment. That's why you need to speak with that professional before you ever get started. Right. So, again, that's one question. We're talking everything today you need to know about pre-approval, and why we tell you these things that you need. That needs to be your first step. When do you do it? Do it yesterday, right? Do it yesterday. You know somebody, get it done. You need recommendations. We got a whole card list in here of people. Again, we can't tell you who to pick, where to go. We can give you, again, a vendor list of people. You pick who fits you. This is what we will tell you. Don't be afraid to talk to more than one.
I tell people that, man.
Don't be afraid to shop that around.
Just like insurance.
They can do different things. They can do different things. So that's number one. What do you got for number two?
Number two is we're going to talk about the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approved, because as you said earlier, there is a difference.
There is a big difference.
So that, and then in today's market, an even bigger difference.
Absolutely.
Okay, because of the difference. Right. So pre-approved is very simple. Usually it's a phone call. Pre-approved, is that what I said? Pre-approved is very simple because it's usually a phone call. You can do it over the phone. They can call, and basically it's you giving them information.
That's pre-qualified.
Pre-qualified.
Yeah.
That's what
pre-approved is when you.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Pre-qualified is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Is when you make a phone call and you are telling them, okay, Mike, you're the lender.
Yeah.
I'm Dave. I make $682,000 a year.
Right.
And I have no bills.
Right.
Okay. And then they can say, well, based on that, here's what you could do.
Right.
And then
very, very generic.
Generic. Minimal information.
Yes.
So
no credits looked
no digging. Yeah, they're not. We're not even looking at
no
credit
bank
scores at that
records,
time. Right.
Nothing.
We don't know anything about you other than what you just told us.
Right.
Not us, the lender.
Right.
But pre-approved means you have gave them your information.
Absolutely.
And I think you're going to tell them what they got to give them in a minute. But there's a lot of stuff that you got to give them in order for them to really pre-approve you.
Right.
Means that they have looked at your financial situation.
Yes,
they have pulled your credit.
Right.
They've got your W-2s. They've got your kindergarten report cards.
Because
they get a lot of stuff.
A lot of info, man.
And they're going to know everything about you.
Yes.
And then they can pretty much guarantee if you don't change nothing.
Right.
This is what you can buy. Then that's when they can really tell you a real number.
Absolutely.
This is a real number what you can buy.
Right.
This is a real number on what you can think of as a house payment. Mm-hmm. It's real at that point.
Yeah,
it's real.
Exactly right.
A lot of it, like
they're using your data, your info, your income, your bank records, your kindergarten report card, and telling you what you can do.
It's every time I hear something different. Like people's like, I can't believe they need that much information.
Right.
But I mean, you got to think about it. Somebody's going to give you a good chunk of money. They want to know a pretty good lot of information.
They want to know you can repay that thing.
Yes, right.
They want to know you can repay that thing. Here's a total side note I want to say about that, though. Once you get that done, pre-approval is where you want to go. Okay, pre-qualified is okay, but pre-approval is where you want to go, because again, that's kind of getting to the nuts and the bolts of the things. But here's what I want to say: when you get that done, when that pre-approval, they look at your current financial situation as of that moment in time.
Yeah,
all right, it's a snapshot of now.
Yes.
So when you do that, anything that changes that will show up on your credit report in your bank records, all of those things is going to change that pre-approval. Mm-hmm. So don't go buy a new car after you get your pre-approval. Don't go buy a tank of gas on a credit card.
Right.
Don't go out and do these kind of things. Don't give a big sum of money
Christy.
Or get a big sum of money to somebody.
Right.
Because they look at that snapshot right then and there. Now, this is all going to be done again 1 or 2 days prior to you closing the loan of this house.
Yes.
And how many times have we saw that mistake that's been made in between the pre-approval process where you did everything you needed to do and you were good to go, but somewhere along the line in those 30 to 45 days, something changed in your financial situation again, whether you went and bought new furniture on your Discover card and it changed your debt to income, and we get 2 days before closing, you've already got that new furniture because you charged it on your credit card, you've already got out of your lease or sold your other property,
right?
And you come up here and can't buy that home. That didn't cost you nothing, but watch that.
Yes.
All right?
Again,
that's major. Watch those kind of things.
Funny story. I was with some clients last night. I went to home. They're an older couple. I went to Home Depot with them because we're closing today.
Right.
And so they was going to get some blinds. Mm-hmm. It's a brand new house that they're buying, so no blinds or nothing in it. So we get up there to the counter to pay for it, and the lady says, "Would you like to apply for a Home Depot credit card? You could save 30% on your bill today." And I said, "Don't.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it."
Yeah.
But they're paying cash.
Right.
So it didn't matter.
Right.
But I instantly went in panic. No, don't do it.
Don't check your credit. Don't pull that
because
credit.
it's just,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
They looked at me like, what?
That's exactly right.
Well, most people,
Yeah, we're just trying to be good to you. We're talking again, everything you need to know about pre-approval today, all right? We've talked about, again, when do you need to do that? What's the difference between pre-qualification, pre-approval? Pre-approval is when the one you want to go for. They dig deeper. It may take you a day or two to get that done, but you want to wait that day or two prior to doing that. Here's the third thing. So we told you they need everything, even your kindergarten report card. That's kind of just a tongue-in-cheek. We're joking there.
Right, yeah.
But here's a question
You're going to think they're going to ask.
So what are some things I need to gather? What are some documents that they're going to, and I actually got a list. I made a list here of these. What are some things that they're going to ask for? This is not all of them. All right?
No, this is not all.
This is a very short list, but this will get you started. And the reason that I didn't list more is because, again, this varies from lender to lender,
yeah,
mortgage company to mortgage company, what they need, what they want. Again, each situation is unique. But here's some things you can guarantee they're all going to want, all right? The first thing is they're going to want 30 days of your pay stubs, all right? They're going to want to see that. So go ahead, if you're thinking in the future of purchasing a house, go ahead and begin to keep these things. Go ahead and begin to make you a file of these things. And they also are going to want to see on that 30 days pay stubs your year to date that you've made. It needs to be on there, or a letter from your employer that states this is what they have made year to date. That's one thing. The second thing is they're going to want to look at 2 years of your W-2s.
Right.
Who knows where those are, okay? That's why we're telling you these things. You may know, some of you may not. But 2 years of W-2s on high net tax returns or high net tax returns, if you're self-employed, you got to have those kind of things there too, okay? Throws a little bit of a different kink in there. They're going to want to look at quarterly statements for all your assets, checking accounts, IRAs, savings accounts, 401ks. They're going to want to see those things, right? Again, as Dave said earlier, they're getting ready to give you a large sum of money. They're going to want to make sure your ability to repay this is
think about that, especially like your bank statements, okay? I never keep a bank statement. Because you can get them online. But you got to think about that because they're going to want you to bring them copies.
So you want to get that.
Yeah, you either want to start collecting them before you go, or you need to go ahead and go to your bank and say, can you print me my last 3 months bank statement?
Yes. That way, again, you're prepared prior to you go. That's one of the reasons we wanted to do this show. We want you to be prepared. We want you to be informed. We want you to be knowledgeable. Because honestly, knowledge is power. When you know more, you can do more. You can be more. So on and so forth.
One more thing about the pre-qualified versus pre-approved. Pre-qualified, a lot of times, like I said, that's a phone call and they can give you an answer really quick. To really get pre-approved, it's going to take them a little bit of digging because they got to research
going to want to look at
all of this. So the faster you get them this information,
the quicker they have.
The faster they're going to tell you if you're really
Let's go. Right. Here's another thing. Your social security number, your driver's license or state ID, whatever you have there, you're going to have to provide that to them. So make sure you got that. They got to know you are who you say you are. Okay. And the last thing that I've put on here is the lender's going to want to run a credit check. Okay. They're going to pull your credit, see your score. A lot of everything goes off of that credit score. So that's kind of the hub where it all starts, and we go from there. So you're going to have to give them permission to do that. All right. A lot of times they're like, "Why do you need my social security number and all this kind?" Well, they're going to run a credit report. They're going to check those things again, grab that credit score, and kind of go from there and see just exactly what all that is. Now, again, this is big stuff. When you got to go, hey, I don't know where all this is at. That's why we're telling you. Look into these kind of things now. But you want to do this legwork. Now you're kind of seeing why we're saying do this stuff up front. Get this stuff done prior to you ever jumping in the housing market, because right now, this pre-approval letter, this pre-approval, you take the time and do this, it's got some power to it.
And you see why it's more important. Again, in today's market, the market that we're in now, it carries a whole lot more clout when you've got a pre-approval letter versus just telling them, I have been pre-qualified.
I can do this.
Because anyone who knows that pre-qualified it is what it is. It's a phone call.
That's
a lot of
exactly
times. You can get online and do it on these online things. And again, I can go in, and I'm not saying that people do this, but I can go on there and put whatever amount I want to put in, and I can get something showing that I'm pre-qualified for $1 million purchase.
Sure, absolutely. Because again, it's just info that you provide.
It's information.
They don't do the background checking.
And again, honestly, most people don't know. Let's just say you do make $100,000 a year on your job. When they start deducting other stuff off here, they're going to get that debt to income. That don't play in whenever you're doing a pre-qualified.
Absolutely.
Debt to income was another one you've heard us talk about before. That's major. That's a big factor in the whole game.
And this sounds like it's like a mass of stuff to do. Now, there are a lot of info you got to provide. However, with the right person helping you through the processes, which is what we love to do, right? We like to help you through the process. There are things we can and can't do for you. But helping you through the process, it literally makes this a whole lot easier. Again, knowledge is power.
We've got little brochures made up of of this information that we can just say, okay, here's what you need to do first. And it's going to give you a list of this stuff that most banks are going to ask for, so you can go in with a little checkoff list. Here's what I need. So you know it. When you go to your person, you got your ducks in a row.
That's right.
But I think we need to address one that's not even on our thing.
Go ahead.
Because we do have a lot of out-of-towners that watch us, out-of-state people, and we get this question a lot.
Right.
And again, we're not going to be able to give you a direct answer, but we can give you a roundabout answer.
Okay.
But just like for people who's wanting to move here from out of state.
Right.
And they want to know, what do I got to do? Do I need to get approved where I live at? Do I need to get approved here?
Right.
And I don't think that really matters.
No,
I don't think it would.
100%,
I think a lot of times people would rather you use someone local here where you're going to be getting a loan at.
Right.
But I think what I'm saying is about job situations.
Right.
That's all going to be lender specific, really. But most of the time,
100%.
if you're transferring, if you're a nurse in California and you're moving to Morristown, Tennessee, a lot of times, as long as you stay in the same profession,
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Now, if you're
Absolutely.
quitting a job there, moving here, starting a new job, there's different rules that we don't even know about.
That's right. That's
but
where
we
it's
do
lender
know that,
specific.
right? But that is a question that we get a lot.
Oh, yeah,
What do I need to
absolutely.
do because I'm moving there?
Right. Speak to a lender.
Speak to a
That's
lender.
exactly right.
That's what we always say. Yeah.
Speak to a lender.
Call a lender, and they're
Yes.
like, "Well, should I call one here, or should I call one where I live now, or here?" And I would always recommend doing
I would
something
too.
here.
I 100%
because
agree.
these people know more about these lenders that are here know more about our taxes and insurances and all the
really how the whole
stuff that's
thing
gonna
in
go.
this state works, because it is different.
And the fees for closing a loan in California, I don't know what it is. But
Absolutely.
they know their fees here.
100%. So that is everything you need to know about pre-approval. Hopefully that's been some good information for you. Again, whether you use that now in the future or you know someone, point them to this video. Let them get this information. Again, we're just trying to put it out there because we want you to be informed about whatever you do.
We thank each and every one of you for listening to today's podcast. Tune in for future episodes by subscribing to our channel and get the latest and greatest real estate information right here on Lakeway Area Real Estate Talk Live, presented by Elite Realty Group. Until next time, have a great and blessed day.